Okay, so in this part of the video, I'm going to try adding in a couple controls. So for the controls, they're just basically going to be influencing these clusters here. So let me just grab a circle, and I'll just have maybe just a couple circles here. And I'm just going to kind of go up to each of the clusters. So I have 4 clusters. So let's see, I got 1, 2, 3, 4 of these circles. And just to position these, I'm going to point constrain the circle to one of the clusters here. So let's see, constrain, point. Oh, constrain point, but make sure maintain offset is off. There we go, there's 1, 2, and 3. Next thing I'm going to do is delete those constraints. Cool. Should probably label these, so I'll call this one maybe the master control. And then we have stem 1, CTL, stem 2, CTL, stem 3, CTL, and stem 4, CTL. Okay. And I'll just place all these under the master control. Just make sure I'm freezing transformations. Oops. Freezing transformations. Then I'm going to basically just parent the corresponding locator into the controller that's at their position. And put this under my flower group. Then I can probably just go in and hide these clusters. There we go. So now I've got controls that will move my stem around, and I can zero those out if I have to. Oh, now let me undo the parenting because I thought I froze transformations, but I don't see that taking place there. Yeah, so I gotta unparent those clusters and do that again. So let's see. Why is that not freezing? Usually double clicking on that will, okay, I'll just do it here. Freeze, translate. All right, there we go. That's odd. So let's do this again. Okay, maybe just color code this so they stand out. Already. Cool. And lastly, I think I'm going to hide those deformers. Alright, so clusters are hidden. I've got my controls. I can now go in and zero them out if I have to. So we're good with that. And then what I want to do is okay, let's see. Get bombarded. Then I want to do is go in and add some leaves. Let's do some leaves. Alright, so this needs to go under a control group, bit of old school kind of separation here. So control group, it's going to go under the flower master. Let's add a couple leaves here, so I'll need a plane. And let's see here, just give it some depth. Give it some division, so I have some squares, nothing too fancy. Let's see, very similar to how we shaped the initial leaf. Oop. I do want one down the middle as well here, so let's see, what's my division set to? Five, let's make that 6. Oh, I should turn my phone off because I'm just constantly getting bombarded. All right, that's cool. So let's do this. Literally. And then, okay, one day that will stop. Okay, I'm going to close that. Alright, it's going to be the end of the leaf. It's going to be the bottom of the leaf. And I'll need a stem, so what I'll do is I'll just take this edge here, maybe narrow it up a bit, and I'll just extrude that out. A couple of times. That's interesting. Alright, that's good. And let's give it a bit more of a leafy shape. Maybe pick a couple more in the middle here. Oops. Yeah, let's say that's a leaf. I probably want to maybe make it a bit more leaf-like too, and maybe just go in and randomize some of the edging just a little bit. Unlike the petals, I don't have to worry so much about overlap, just because these will be fairly spaced out. Before I get too far though, I probably want to create a UV map for it, so let me do that quickly. There we go. It's fairly good. Let's see, so I'll just go down the middle here. Cool. And we need to give this a little bit of thickness. So let me delete history first. Free strands, delete history, all that stuff. And I'm going to extrude that. I'm going to keep the extrude active though. That way it'll always maintain its thickness. Cool. Very cool. Looks pretty good. And I will then add in my joints. So where are they? Let's see here. Maybe I'll also just snap that to origin there. All right. So skeleton, create joints. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's way too many, but let's do it anyway. And I do want to bind it. Oh, I should have probably bound it before I added my thickness in. Oh, that's okay. Should be fine. I might be able to change the input order still. So I'm going to call this leaf 1. Actually, just to cheat, I'll go leaf geo1. And I'll do this. So modify, search and replace names. Leaf JNT. So this will be leaf JNT. Yeah, I'll give it a prefix eventually. So I'll just have 1 leaf JNT, 2, and so on and so forth. So put those in a group. And I need to bind everything. So skin, bind skin, and just use the defaults, and I should be good with everything. Now if I'm getting any kind of intersections, I might want to go into my inputs and change the order so that the extrude happens below my, but you know what, that looks great. So I'm just going to keep that. And I'm going to take this and put it on the stem. That leaf is kind of tiny though. Should have scaled it up first. Oh, that's not going to do the trick unless I do this. So I'm going to go into the geometry and turn off inherit transforms. So that way I can go into that group and scale that up. There we go. We're good. Alright, so I'm just going to add a couple of these leaves on. I'm going to parent them into existing joints. That's where those have to go. So there's 1 leaf. I'm going to duplicate this. So duplicate special. So edit, duplicate special. And I'll do this a couple times. So I have maybe about 4 leaves or something like that. You know what? My duplicate special did not work. Probably because I don't have the setting turned on. But let's check it out. So edit, duplicate special option box. I don't. So input graph. So again, I'll create maybe four duplicates. All right. So this will be 2. So I'm going to have to relabel everything under here. So edit, modify, search and replace names. So leaf 1, or leaf will be replaced with leaf 2. There we go. Get rid of that 1 there. This one will be leaf with leaf 1. Get rid of that guy. There we are. This will be leaf 3. Leaf 4. Leaf 5. Cool. So remember, it's important that even though we have these individual groups, everything within those groups also need to have like their own unique names. All right, so we've got these different groupings here. So I'm just going to parent these to corresponding joints. Use the V key and just snap these. Maybe to hide my geometry for now. Maybe I'll just alter the scale of these just a bit. And rotate these around a bit as well. Just so they're a bit more randomized. And then once I've done that, I've got to attach them to their corresponding joints that they're closest to. All right, that looks kind of random enough. Yeah, maybe I'll take that bottom one and just move it up. Oops, closer to the top here. All right. And then what I'm going to do is position each one. Now to do this, they're probably going to be kind of very similar in terms of how they're angled, so maybe I could do them all at once. So we'll start by rotating these up a little bit, and then just kind of have them droop down. Maybe twist a little bit randomly. Cool. All right, there we go. And then let's parent those into their corresponding joints. And I probably should increment and save at this point, because I don't want to do that again. All right, let's see. So if I move this, there we go. Everything moves with that. Very cool. What I might want to do is just go into these chains and just create one master group for that, just so I don't have to animate them individually. Well, I still might. That's okay. It's better than nothing. All right. So next thing I'm going to do is save this as my new master. So save scene as flower master. Oh, I'm going to have to resave just because this stuff also has to go under the control group. Actually, no, just under flower master. There we go. You know what? I should have probably parented the entire group instead. That way I can mix and match them if I needed to. Yeah, I'm going to have to go back and do that. So let's see. So I want to take the group and parent it, not the individual joint. Because I've turned off inherit transform, that's okay to do this. Whoops. Just make sure I'm not breaking my connections here. Cool. That all seems to work pretty good. All right, let's save that again. So file, save scene. Flower master, sure. And I'm going to, so everything's under that group. I'm going to just stage this and do a little bit of an animation just to see how this all works now. So file, save scene as, one more time. Now, ideally what I would do is maybe, well, let's see what happens. So I'm going to duplicate special. So duplicate special. But instead of doing them one at a time, I'm just going to pick a number, maybe 4 more, so I'll have 5 in total, and duplicate it that way. Otherwise, it might be a bit difficult to offset my animation. So let's see here. So I got these guys. So I've got my different control rigs. So let me just take one here and just shift it over. I got 2, shift that over. Maybe I'll just do it from the bottom here. Okay, I think that's all of them. Now it looks like the texture didn't link up with some. I think that's the problem, I guess, with the duplicating special, is that that type of thing might happen. And I might want to go in and make a twist connection too, maybe, to the IK handle, because there is one that exists, just so the leaves will twist around. The stem a little bit. Yeah, so every IK handle that's in here has a bit of a twist functionality, which is right here. So if I activate that, you can see how it just kind of twists everything around that. And I'm going to do that just to randomize the stem placement a little bit. Alright, so I got those kind of randomly placed. So let's see. I'm just going to put a default shader on and just render this out. But before I do, let me just offset the animation, because again, everything's going to just kind of happen at the same time. Now, it looks like I still have some animation on the clusters, and I wish I actually got rid of those, because now it's going to be a little bit tricky to to fix. So let me see, cluster star. Star. So I have to go into each one of these and just remove the animation. Which actually it doesn't look too difficult to do. So Windows, animation map. Now this would also be a lot faster if I didn't have 3 smoothing on everything. So just for testing, it might be worthwhile to go back to number 1 smoothing. Let's see here. Dope sheet. And let's see if I can just remove that stuff. There we go. Alright, so as that blooms, I'm going to have each one kind of sag down. I'm going to do this all at the same time since I haven't offset the animation yet between the different flowers. So I should be able to just grab those and move them. I don't know what's going on with this one guy here, but let's see. Let's see what happens. Alright, so I'm going to key frame 1. So 40 frame cycles, so go to frame 40. So these are all going to sag down. And maybe sag up just a little bit. Cool. And then what I'm going to do is just go in and do a little bit of quick shading. Make sure my leaves aren't going through stuff as well. Randomize them a little bit. Yeah, so if I imported this instead of duplicating special for each one of those 5 flower stems, I think I wouldn't be having this texture problem, but could be the fact that I have same names on things as well, which is probably the reason for that. All right, that's looking pretty good. So next thing I want to do is just add in increment and save, or save as. I'll do that for increment and save first. Save scene as, and then I'll just call it animation 3 or something like that. And I'm not going to put realistic flower materials on this. I just want to create something interesting, just to see the animation in real time. This was just a jade texture I put on there, but I can see that, yeah, some of those leaves are not picking up any material whatsoever. So let me just select everything. And I'm going to just choose a redshift material. Maybe I'll try a subsurface material, maybe. So let's see, redshift, so new material, redshift. Let's try skin. What does that look like when I render it out? It's not particularly fast. I'm going to change the color so it's not so skin-like. Oh, there's a... Watch out for intersections. There's a leaf going through something right there. And I'm going to pause the recording for a second. Yeah, it's not quite what I'm going for. Let's try just a redshift material and see what that looks like. So redshift material. Oh, that's interesting. I just do that. Renders pretty quick. Quickish. You know, it looks like plastic, obviously, or some kind of ceramic, which is kind of interesting, but there was a leaf. Where is it? Right here. It must be this guy right there. It's going through a stem. I'll just move that out of the way. Cool. So let's play around with a little bit of depth of field. I'm going to set it to render, and then I'll upload part 2, which kind of deals with adding in the stems and stuff like that. This leaf could probably be turned down just to get a little bit of a better silhouette and fill in some of this blank, empty area there. There we go. Alright, let me switch cameras. So I did have some depth of field on this one. So let's see if I can get back to the... Well, where's that composition? So this guy in the foreground. Yeah, something like that. And let's see, change the depth of field a little bit. So let's just modify that. Looking cool. All right, so I think I'm also going to maybe twist around my dome light a little bit. So let me just save, increment and save. Whoops, cancel. Okay, increment and save. Grab that dome light, so an IPR up. Whoops. Let's go back. That looks kind of cool. And what else do I want to do? I wanted to maybe make it just a little bit less shiny. So let's see here. What else? You know, that has an interesting look. So maybe I'll add a ramp, because all the UVs are there and they all point in roughly the same direction. So let's try a colorful kind of ramp. Well, that's interesting. Very cool, very cool. All right, I'm gonna go with that. That looks kind of interesting. Does it have to be white? I don't know. Let's see what happens if I go with the color. Yeah, not so much. Not so much. That's kind of neat. Do something like that, maybe. All right, and I feel like I just need a little bit of a background there, just so it's not on black. So I'm going to grab an image from the internet. So let's see what we got here. What kind of images do we have? So greenhouse. Greenhouse, sunny. It'd have to be a bit of a lower angle. So I can't really use any of those. Let's see. Interior. Low angle. Oh, maybe this. Maybe this guy. This guy. Yeah, it looks kind of what I want. Oh, it's a Shutterstock. Let's see. Is there anything else that's a little bit more fashionable? Yeah, I'll do something like this. So what I'm going to do is just save that, save image as. I'll put it into the same drive. And I'm going to grab an image plane, so, or just not image plane, sorry, I'll just put it on a plane. Put it back there. Fill up my screen. Even that looks kind of cool, just with the gray background. But I feel like that image is going to ground it a little bit more, so let's try it. So where are we? So I'm going to put a V-Ray material on there. So assign new material. Sorry, not V-Ray, redshift material. And let me just put in an image, which will be this guy. And that should be out of focus. Yeah, I don't think this image is working so much. Well, A, it's upside down, so that's also something. And I'm just going to throw it back there. That's a bit better. the lighting scenario isn't quite the same. I'm going to see if I can find just one more image, because I'm not super happy with that one. Something that's cool. That's kind of interesting. If I can't, maybe I'll just go with a solid image, solid color. Let's try this one. I'll flip it. Let's try this one. Maybe this will be better. Oh yeah, looking better already. Let me just flip it to the other side. It's a little bit too low angle-ish though, for what I'm doing. Yeah, it's not quite working either. I might just go with the solid. One more look, and that's it. And then I'm done looking. I'll just do a solid and render it off. Yeah, because I need something that's a little bit more neutral. Sunny interior. Let's go modern instead. That one's cool. It's a good reference, actually. Alright, I'll just use this. Save scene as. Yeah. It's creepy. Alright. Let's just use that. If it doesn't work, I will just use a solid image, because that seemed to be pretty cool too. You know what? Actually, it doesn't look too bad. Color-wise, it doesn't look too bad. It's just, it's not out of focus enough, maybe. So maybe if I just play with my focal point, depth of field. Alright, how's that looking? Yeah, it's still too low angle. Alright, let's try this other image. Okay. Whoops. Cool. All right, I'll go with it. I'll go with it. I'm just going to color correct it just a little bit because it's a little bit too, maybe too green for my pink foreground here. So how could I shift that? I want to go to red. Ooh, okay, not really like that, but shift it just a little bit to the pink side. Yeah, it's not. Still, it's just not quite there. Let me just save this one though. And I'm just going to go solid color. Yeah, simple works sometimes. Simple just works sometimes. It just looks better. All right, so that solves that issue. And then what else did I want to do? Let's see, just roughness a bit. And then on the flowers themselves, I maybe wanted to turn down the reflections just a little bit. Cool. All right. I'm going to render that off. So let me just do a quick test render. Just make sure there's no grain and all that stuff. And the one last thing I need to do is just offset each flower's blooming, which I didn't do yet, which is something I did do in the first part. I'll record it anyway, but this is looking good. So I'm just going to save that image, do an increment and save. And you know what, I could probably even go with more flowers down here and stuff like that, just to really fill it out. But I'm just going to leave it like that for now. All right. So yeah, so each one could just be slightly offset. So this one maybe could bloom last. So let's see. I'm going to go into the dope sheet, open that up, and I'm going to shift that over. So I'll do 200 frames again. Cool. And let's do the other ones. So let's see, this one. I'll just go a little bit offset. This guy, maybe this guy will go first. So I won't change that one. This guy. this guy needs to go second. Yeah, that's what we got here. Cool. So there's no leaf animation on this, but I think that should be okay. So that goes first, second, third, and I got that guy going last. Cool. All right, let's do it. So I'm going to save one last time and do a batch render. So render, batch render. And I'm going to stop the recording there.